There's an article recently from USA Today that lists the top 10 cities that people are moving to. And out of those 10 cities across the United States, 5 of them were in Florida, with Orlando being number 4. And what I find really interesting about that is over the last couple years with COVID and things like that, there was a lot of reasons why people were relocating. But now that COVID has kind of, subsided, it hasn't gone away completely, but now, some of the panic has kind of subsided. We're still seeing people that are relocating here. While some states are seeing a decline in their population, we are actually seeing a 2% growth, which is the highest that we've seen since about the late 1950s. Orlando is a unique spot because we get a lot of people relocating from out of the state, even out of the country, but we're also seeing a lot of people from South Florida migrating up this way as well. My name is Don Sprinkle. My team and I are working with families every single day who are relocating to and from the Orlando metro area, and in today's video we are going to discuss some of the new things, some of the new exciting happening things that are coming to the Orlando area, why it continues to be such a popular spot, and why so many people are wanting to call this area their new home. So if you haven't smashed that subscribe button, go ahead, do that now, and get ready for another great episode. So aside from a few years away in college, I've lived my entire life in the state of Florida. I was born and raised in South Florida. I grew up in South Palm Beach County. After college, I relocated back to Florida. We lived in the Daytona Beach area in Port Orange for about 10 years, and now for about the last almost 7 years, we've been in the Orlando metro area. But the Orlando area, to me, my personal opinion is there's something special about this area. Don't get me wrong, South Florida is great. It's special in its own unique way. There's a lot of things about South Florida that make it different from the rest of Florida, again, in my personal opinion. But to be honest with you, it's getting really crowded down in South Florida. And that's probably one of the reasons why more and more people are starting to relocate from Miami to the Central Florida area, aside from just the population being so, so dense down in South Florida. The cost of living down there is a lot more expensive as well. The Orlando metro area is a great alternative for a lot of people either relocating from another part of Florida or completely new to the state because, number one, you're in Central Florida and you're inland. So if you're worried about hurricanes, if you're worried about tropical storms, hurricanes, things like that, you are at much less of a risk factor than being on one of the coastal cities. Now the trade-off, of course, is you're not next to the beach, but me personally, I'm okay with that. And typically, if you know anything about Florida and just the landscape, the farther away you get from a lot of these coastal cities, and that's, North Florida and all the way down to South Florida, the farther away you get from a lot of these coastal cities, the more rural Florida can be. But that I-4 corridor where Orlando sits is a little bit different, and a lot of that has to do with our tourism industry here. Aside from the theme parks, though, we've got a huge healthcare industry. We've got the University of Central Florida, which is one of the largest public universities in the entire country. And believe it or not, even though we're usually known for our tourism industry, our tech industry in Orlando is one of the top in the entire country. Orlando continues to steadily rise and be recognized as a great area for tech jobs as well, with companies like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman calling the Orlando area home, as well as entire cities dedicated to technology like Lake Nona. It's really at least not a surprise to me to see that taking place. But because we can be such a transplant area, because we have so many people coming and going through Orlando on such a regular basis, the area and the city is constantly changing. There's constantly new things being brought in, there's constantly things being replaced, renovated, updated, and it's really an exciting area to live. I can tell you that living in this area, when you've lived in Central Florida on the coast, in the Daytona area, when I've lived in South Florida, in Palm Beach County, and now living in the Orlando area, I kind of feel like I've got the best of both worlds now because it's not as crowded as South Florida, definitely not anywhere nearly as crowded, even though I-4 traffic can be an absolute bear sometimes. I'm excited to do this video because this is kind of like an update just to give you guys a sense of what continues to be happening and going on in our area, keep you guys up to date, and just help you learn a little bit more about why so many people are wanting to relocate to our area. First thing I'm going to mention is Lake Nona. Lake Nona continues to expand, it continues to grow. Right now they're currently building out and developing their Lake Nona Town West. Lake Nona West is going to be a little bit farther to the southwest of what is the Lake Nona, the main hub right now of Lake Nona Town Center. Construction is going to start in 2024. They're expecting it to be completed by early 2025. It's going to bring additional grocery stores, retail shops, and Simcom, which is the aviation training company, is also going to be establishing a training facility there, and that's going to projected to bring about 10,000 new pilots through that area every single year. So that's definitely going to be a boost to the local economy in Lake Nona. We were just recently out in Lake Nona this summer, spending a lot of time out there. We're working with a family in a new construction home in Storybrooke, and every time I go out there, I continue to be more and more impressed and amazed by just how innovative that area is. If you haven't checked out that video yet, definitely click on the video link above and take a tour with us through that area, because it's definitely impressive. One of the main roadways and highways access points around the Lake Nona area is the 417, and that actually leads me into one of our other updates concerning that and just our traffic patterns, is the widening of the 417 between iDrive and the 528. Now this might not sound that exciting, but if you know anything about the Orlando area, if you've watched any of our other videos, you know that one of the downsides to living here is the traffic, especially on I-4. The 417 and the 408, as well as the 528 and 429, are all other major highways and roadways in the Orlando area, and it's nice to at least see them continuing to be proactive to try to develop better traffic routes and patterns to alleviate all the traffic that we do have in this area. Number 3, and this might be one of the things I'm most excited about, is the Pro Bowl is coming back to Orlando. If you guys remember, it was here a few years ago for a couple years, and then it went out to Las Vegas or somewhere else. I don't remember exactly, but it's coming back this year. I don't know how long they're going to stay, but I'm excited to have it back. We don't have an NFL team here, so I'll definitely take what I can get from that. But what we do have here, and this is also some more exciting football news, is that the University of Central Florida recently joined the Big 12. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I played college football. My brother actually graduated and played football for UCF. He was a part of the undefeated team a few years back. And that's a really great experience, a really great time, just a really great college football vibe over there. Even though we don't have a pro team, I got to say Orlando continues to be growing and growing as an awesome college town for football. I think a lot of people underrate the Orlando area for being a sports town, but I think it's quite the opposite. UCF football continues to gain a huge following. Don't forget that we also have the Orlando Major League Soccer team here as well. They just completed their new stadium a year or two ago. That is a pretty fun time as well. It's right near downtown. It's got great walkability. And I don't have all the details yet, but we are supposed to be getting a pro volleyball team here to Orlando as well. So my daughter plays volleyball. She's going to love that. We go to the UCF volleyball games all the time. So I'm looking forward to that as well. For number 4, let's talk about some theme park update. Universal Studios just opened up their newest addition, the Despicable Me ride, the Minions Mayhem. We haven't checked it out yet. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to going and checking that out, letting you guys know how that is. Disney World is continuing to develop and evolve. They opened up their Tron ride and Guardians of the Galaxy ride earlier this year. They're also working on a new ride over in Magic Kingdom, which is going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's supposed to be open around 2024, mid to late 2024. So we still got some time on that one. But if you haven't checked out Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, definitely do that. I've ridden them both. I think I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy if I got to pick between the two. Tron was a great ride as well, but I like the music choices on Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Tron ride was just a little too short for me. For number 5, we're going to check out another tourist area, and that's International Drive. One of the exciting things that's coming to the iDrive area this year is the Cool Zoo. The Cool Zoo is actually a wildlife rehabilitation and rescue center in Polk County, which is a little bit to the southwest of Orlando. But they're currently working on developing and opening up a 10,000 square foot building right in the heart of north end of iDrive that is going to have interactive and educational exhibits and experiences for families and kids of all ages. So if you've gone to iDrive, you've gone through the aquarium that they have there now, and you enjoyed that, this sounds like it's probably going to be another great fun experience for the kids, and even if you just love animals. Number 6 is another travel and traffic update, and it has to do with the Bright Line trains that we've been eagerly awaiting, it seems like now, for well over a year. Tickets initially went on sale for starting September 1st. People could start to ride it and travel on it. That got pushed back a week, and then it got pushed back to the the end of September. So the Brightline train is a high-speed rail train that it originates in South Florida. They've got like multiple stops in Broward and Dade County, but they've now got one that is going to be giving you direct access and travel to the Orlando area. It's going to definitely change the game for a lot of people that want to go, visit or just go down for a day. I've got family that still lives in South Florida. I'm eager and excited to try it out myself. Another industry that sometimes gets overlooked or overshadowed by our tourism economy is our healthcare industry. Orlando Health and Advent Health are two of the largest hospital systems in the entire state, and they employ some of the largest number of residents in our area. And approved just earlier this year was a new building being constructed in the Ivanhoe area that's going to be the Health Tower of Orlando. It was approved earlier this year. It's a 35-story mixed-use high-rise that is going to house nearly 900 assisted living units, as well as 375,000 square feet of medical offices and a parking garage with over 800 parking spaces. That might not sound that exciting, but I'm excited to see it because they're promoting this building as another structure that is going to be in line with the tech savviness and the innovativeness that Orlando is continuing to try to brand itself as. Jacobs Architecture is leading this project, and their resume includes projects such as the Red Rocks Amphitheater, University of Texas, and they recently completed a 17-story medical building in downtown Boston. It's going to be in the north quarter of the Ivanhoe area. It's supposed to change the skyline for Orlando, so it'll be exciting to see what that looks like. And again, it's going to create even more jobs in our area. This is just a handful of new projects and things that are coming to the Orlando metro area. We could probably, do a list of 50 different things, make this an hour-long video. Not going to do that to you guys. So if there's anything that maybe I missed or you need clarification on, or maybe something that you've heard about that's coming to the area that's really exciting and you want us to include and talk more about, definitely drop us a comment, send us a DM, let us know. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do that now. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the great information we're putting out on a weekly basis. There's also a link to subscribe to our weekly e-newsletter. Our team is working with families every single day. If you're thinking about making a move to the Orlando or surrounding area, we'd love to be a real estate resource for you. So until next time, I'm Don Sprinkle. My team and I are living in Orlando, Florida. We'll catch you later.